As the Magisters sidewheel into the Golden City, by blood and Lyrium were they drawn to the heart of all creation. At a touch, the gate swung wide, and the light parted before them like a curtain, swept aside by nothing, fearful to touch them. And none saw the black mark, spreading like a sore upon the shining gate where mortal hand had lain. You know, it feels like such a very long time ago, distant centuries that hardly touch us now. A darkness has stirred to the south of Ferelden, however, a blight taking root in the very earth. Dark times are coming, and it is not only a time for heroes, though they do have a large part to play. This is also a time for the low people, the ones who grow your food, who build your fences. They too will suffer under the weight of the impending doom. In these dark times, even the lowest of us have the potential for great heroics. Turn your eyes now upon the town of Lothering as we follow 5 such people. Will they rise to the challenge of being the heroes of their own story? Or will they fall like so many before them?
Hi, everybody. Hello, welcome. And Andrew Anashan, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our premiere episode of Blood and Lyrium, our Dragon Age story. This is also our very first session on our Twitch channel. Cheers. And we are very grateful that you could join us today. You are very welcome in this space, and we hope that you enjoy your time here. Before we introduce the story and our players, let me first provide a content warning. Dragon Age is a setting which has some dark and difficult themes, not only with some grisly horror, but also in its political and cultural tensions. There are power imbalances throughout the lands of Thedas, and we may on occasion touch on these in our story. Rest assured, we will be as respectful and considerate as possible when we do, and we have discussed our lines of veils prior to today's session. We can check in with each other, but we want you to also be mindful of your own comfort levels also. As important as these stories are to voice, your happiness and comfort should be paramount, and as such, we would never judge if you need to step away. Now, as we are about to embark, please settle in as we tell our Dragon Age story. My name is Emma, or Hummerloo on the internet. I am going to be the storyteller of this season, of our Dragon Age story, and I'm going to let my players introduce themselves and who they will be playing, starting with Emily.
Hello, I'm Emily. She, they pronouns. You can find me on the internet at EmilyBard20 on most things. And I'm going to be playing Kina, who is awesome, and you'll learn more about her in a bit.
Satan, you're next.
Hi, that was my question. I didn't see the intro orders, but that's me. Hi, everyone. My name is Satan. I go by she or any pronouns, and today I will be playing Phelan, our Dalish elf mage.
Jill.
Hi, I'm Jill, also known as Ghosty JK. I use she, they pronouns, and I will be playing Beverly, who uses she, her pronouns. She is a human warrior.
Tauren.
Hello, I'm Torin on the internet. You can find me at Torin Talks Creativity. My pronouns are she, they. I will be playing Oriana, who is also she, her pronouns for her. She is a human rogue.
Excellent. And last but certainly not least, Sakaya.
Hello everyone, I'm Sakaya. I go by she, her pronouns. You can find me on pretty much just on Blue Sky at the moment as Sakaya. And I am playing Eranon, who goes by she, her pronouns.
Beautiful. I can't wait for you all to meet these wonderful characters, which we'll be doing in just a moment. I do have a little bit of a surprise for my players, though. So, as our producer lines this up, I would appreciate that everybody unmutes the stream, please, so that you can watch along with us, cast.
Hello, this is Steve Valentine here. Hello, I got the message from Emma, your GM, to the cast of Blood and Lyrium. I understand that you are running a Dragon Age group and you're going off on an adventure. What is it? So you're a group of Lothering villagers and you're fleeing the Blight, as we all do. I think we all survived the Blight and the eclipse yesterday. So it's great. You're heroes of your own story, which is true, because we are heroes, all of us, of our own story, really, aren't we? So I love that you love Dragon Age. Thank you so much for the love I get from everyone. It was a wonderful thing to do, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. Often because people just recognize my voice, not me. So I'll be in like a supermarket or something, and then someone will suddenly turn around and go, "My liege." It's really quite wonderful. Okay, so I understand that you're going off to flee the Blight. Alistair, who likes to talk about other people's mothers rather than his own, would say to the villagers, oh, right, it's not like the Blight isn't going to chase after you, but if that's what you want to do, you can stay and fight, or you can flee the Blight. It's going to catch up with you either way. The thing to know is that you can win because you're heroes. And if I can become king, anyone can become a hero. Didn't want to become king, but there you go. So I would like to wish you good luck. You are going to need it. There's going to be a lot of things out there in front of you that you're going to have to fight, coming at you from the front, the Blight chasing you from behind. But if you align with the right people and with the right monsters, I know that you can make it through. One bit of advice: swooping is bad. If you hear anything swooping, run. Don't look up. Don't look behind you. Don't look to see if it's friendly, because we all know, a bit like Morrigan's mum, it's not. It's not friendly. So my advice to all of you villagers, go for it. You are your own heroes. And if it does get cold, don't lick that lamppost, especially in winter. Right, I need to go be king, because nobody else seems to want to. Good luck, everybody. I'll see you on the other end of the Blight. There you go. A little shout out from Alistair, wishing you all the best. And I hope to see you all survive. Let me know what happens. Okay, bye. Cheers. Hello, this is...
Oh
I
my
love
goodness.
him.
My liege.
My liege.
My heart. Also, swooping is very good, actually.
Swooping it.
I am
Swooping.
smiling so hard, my tremor started to go off in my face.
Oh
I started tearing up a little bit, not gonna lie. I was like,
Yeah.
That was just like some guy or
So that was a very lovely well wish from Alistair Theron himself, who is best boy on Problematic Fave. Wishing you guys all luck for our story. So as I said before, let's buckle in and get comfortable, everybody. The year is 930 in the Dragon Age. 30 years ago, Ferelden's future was being fought for by the noble Marek Theron, and 3 years later, he was crowned King of Ferelden. And it was its own land once again. Peace and relative prosperity returned. Eventually, his son Kaelin will also inherit the throne. Around 5 years ago, an order named the Grey Wardens started to sense a possible blight on the horizon, and it wasn't until a few weeks ago that their instincts were proven true. To the south of this land, at the borders of the Kakari Wilds, sits the ruins of Ostagar. Centuries ago, the Tevinter Imperium built Ostagar to prevent the Chasing Wilders from attacking the southern lowlands. But now, it sets the stage for a different kind of battle. The forces of King Kaelin Theron and Ferelden's finest were joined by the Ferelden Grey Wardens, who stood at about 50 to 100 strong at the time. Their foe, dreaded Darkspawn hordes, who were eventually joined by a nightmarish blighted dragon known as an archdemon. They lost that battle, and the aftermath has yet to truly be felt by the people of Ferelden. Our story joins not the mighty heroes from that battlefield, but is set upon the lives of those living in the quiet farming town of Lothering. As peaceful as life often was here, in the last week or so there's been an influx of refugees fleeing from the south. They speak of foul beasts, something which not every Lothering resident is inclined to believe. fear and misinformation is rife. The local leader, Leonis Bryland, the Earl of Southreach, has taken his forces south to fight for the king, and this has left Lothering with precious few defenders. A small number of Templars within the Chantry being the only thing standing between the looming threat and the villagers still going about their lives. Some people with a fighting spirit did pass through this town about a day or so ago, before leaving with one of the Chantry scissors and the curious Kunari who had been locked up. They're gone now, and the village life is continuing as it ever has. Away from the sounds of conflict to the south and the curious passing heroes, we now join the lives of some Lothering residents. First, our view is going to join the scene at the local smithy, where the smell of heated metal and the familiar clangs resound in the space. Kenna, as our camera pans into you, what do we see as we look upon you? And how would you describe your space here?
Hey, well, the camera would probably pan in and then lower a little bit to reach Kenna's dwarven height. You see a strong, powerfully built dwarven woman who is looks maybe a little bit distracted, a little bit stressed. She is quite busy, or has busied herself quite a bit around her shop, tidying up, although I would imagine there is no one currently in the smithy. It is a large very open building. It is a round building where most of the inside is like only technically inside. There aren't doors into the place. It's columns with open archways into the space. So there's a lot of airflow, which is necessary. Not
Very much
just
so.
beautiful, but definitely helps Kana and her customers breathe while the forge is on. The forge isn't currently fully lit. There's a small pilot light essentially being kept lit in case she needs to um, light it up in case someone comes in. But if you look at the front archway, with a beautiful gilded sign that says Kanaz, there is a hastily tacked up sign underneath in Kanaz handwriting that says emergency repair only, please. And she is tidying up, picking up any materials that might be put away, getting them packed up. She's preparing to go on a trip.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Would you say that this space, or is it more inside the home, which is close to it, that you would have keepsakes and personal items?
Probably mostly within the home. I think that there are a few personal things. You would definitely, some of the things that Kenna is picking up are maybe toys that got left in a corner that Kenna didn't see earlier until she started tidying. There are probably some beautiful, beautiful artworks, clearly not done by an adult, displayed proudly in and amongst the display items that are typically for sale. Some hints of Kana's favorite person on the wall, but no, nothing really personal to Kana. That's all of that would probably be within the home.
Yeah. I would say that a stiff breeze might come in and dislodge one of these beautiful artworks. One that perhaps has often brings a particular smile to your face. What do you think is drawn on it that brings that smile to your face?
I think it is a scene of a riverside, just a beautiful, picturesque, totally color accurate drawing of a bridge over some water, and there's a lovely looking woman there singing her heart out. Kind of hard to make out much distinguished, it's not anatomically accurate or anything, but the most visible feature is a red line across the woman's face.
Right. You're able to get it set back up onto its proper place on the wall. You will hear approaching footsteps of a petite human woman, local. Her name is Carol, and she looks a little haggard. Her hair is it's often tied up into a sort of bun for practicality's sake, but it's looking particularly disheveled today. And she comes in like wringing her hands a little nervously as she approaches and sort of like knocks on a bit of wood of a frame to alert her presence to you.
Oh,
Kana, are you busy?
got a moment. What's going on, Carol?
Well, I was just wondering, I don't suppose you have any scrap bits of metal, particularly sharp bits, maybe. Well, one of the
Some
neighbors
moment.
is they're putting traps out in their garden in case any of these horrible things come to the
Right.
village, and I don't know how to make them, and well, I was considering maybe putting something up on the fence as a deterrent. I don't suppose you have anything
Right.
like that, do you?
I could definitely arrange something. Let me see. And she will turn, start looking in bins and stuff, and she's got, I would say she's probably got a good set of nails, just like prefabricated, because
Mm-hmm.
you're always gonna need nails for so many different things. And I think she'll pull out a basket of nails, a crate of
Mm-hmm.
a little something of nails, and say, I could probably wrap some wire around these nails, sort of, and then wrap that sort of barbed wire around your fence. I think
Oh yes,
could do the trick.
mm-hmm. That sounds like it might work. Yes.
All right.
Sure. That sounds deterring, right?
Yeah.
But are you doing anything to prepare? Only people seem
Um,
more and more nervous by the day.
you know, I can understand that. I am I'm working on heading out myself.
Oh,
I've, secured the place up as best as I can, but honestly, I can't stay. I'll be back, of course, but I gotta check on my daughter. Uh, uh,
oh no, where is she?
oh, she's up with Dirk and
Um,
and the rest of the in-laws. I wasn't able to make the holiday festivities, but she went up, and then with all this talk, I can't I can't handle not knowing what's going on. I'm getting jumpy like a lot of folks, and
yeah,
I just need to see her, make sure she's all right. So
I
I'm
totally
yeah.
understand that.
But
Uh,
I've got time. I'm not planning on heading out till probably the morning. So let me just toss a couple things into the back of my cart, and I'll head over with you if you don't mind giving me a moment.
oh, of course. No, it's I'm really happy for the help, honestly. It's well, it'd be a little bit of comfort to know that there might be something that stops them coming.
Yeah.
Oh, it's quite troubling time, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Uh, but I think by doing things for one another that we can, keeping an eye out on our community, we'll be able to pull through.
Yeah,
It's gonna be tough, but
I
you
know.
know,
It's yeah. I know that Elder Miriam's concerned. All our poultices and our food has been going to the people who've been arriving, and now I think we might be running out. It's a little troubling.
You know, we've only got so many fields. But I mean, these people have nowhere else to go. I feel for them. You know, wish I had a million rooms in my house and I could just keep everyone myself, you know. It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to turn people down when they're in need, but equally there's only so much to go around.
Right.
Well, I will let you do that. Is there anything I can do to help?
Sure, if you don't mind, I've got some sacks ready. If you don't mind bringing those with me to my cart, we can get going sooner.
Sure. Yeah,
Alright.
I can do that. And she'll go wherever it is that you're directing her to, and will do her best to pick up some sacks of things.
She'll point her towards the lighter of the sacks because
Yes.
she can handle the heavy ones.
Yeah. And eventually you guys will be able to load up that cart. And you can head in the direction of her home. She lives a little further back, between the main thoroughfare of Lothering and out where the fields are to the north. And eventually you'll head in that area. And as you do pass through within the main streets, you can see a few people who are sitting around or have kind of made a makeshift tent as best they can. There is quite a few people, it seems, over by the tavern. You can hear them, despite the fact it's daytime at the moment. And eventually you'll make it to where her row of houses are. So I was just thinking the fence here, and I don't know if they'd be able to get up to that big wall. And Lothering, the way that it's structured, it was part of one of the big main roads that were built by the Tevinter Imperium centuries ago. There's this very prominent, what had been a road. Sections, however, have fallen into disrepair. So it's just essentially this very large wall that runs along the side of Lothering, which, you know, it doesn't necessarily get used the way that it originally intended, but it does create at least one side of the village to be somewhat protected from elements and ne'er-do-wells. I don't think we need to necessarily defend up there. Who
No,
knows? I've never actually seen well, whatever these things are. Darkspawn, right?
hopefully
ever
we
seen
never
one?
will. No, goodness, no. Last time, I mean, it's long time ago. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll be perfectly fine. Better to be safe than sorry, though.
Absolutely. But this shouldn't take too long. We can take care of this right
I'll go in
quick.
and make you some tea. Do you want a snack? I can go and get something while you work.
I would never turn down your hospitality, Carol.
Okay, great. And
You
she
got
heads
those.
in.
You got those muffins you rank.
Yes, I have a couple left. There's lemon poppy seed one, and then there's the one that has the jam and cream on the inside. Which would you prefer? Or both?
I can't choose. You know me.
I will get them set out on a plate for you. And she heads inside, glad to be helpful in return for what you are doing. And as you kind of set about the work, I would like for you to roll for me. First roll the game, everyone. Woo! I would say it is up to you if you want to do something that is dexterity based, given that you have to be quite careful, but I will also allow strength or might in terms of just being able to work this wire around the fence and do some heavy lifting work. What would you prefer?
I think strength. Ironically, I don't think using dexterity would be fast enough. Kind of trying to really just like get in there with the wire herself.
Yeah.
Rather than using tools, just get it done. Because as soon as Carol left, her face, like all the smiles, all the nice, like dropped, and you can see how stressed this whole situation has her, and she just gets to work.
Yeah.
So just a strength.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just click the word
So you click
strength,
the word
right?
strength and it'll just do the thing for you.
Okay.
Nice. 12 is good. 12 is a success for a task which is somewhat simple. So you're able to do the work. It's not necessarily your best, most perfect work. But it's rough and ready and does what it needs to do. You reckon if anyone was to try and either try to come through or come up and over this would have a very unhappy time as you create what is essentially barbed wire, as the chat mentioned. It's canon now that you have created this. And as you do that, she kind of comes out with one of those little fold-out tables and sets it down next to where you're working, puts down some tea and a little plate with some muffins, and then rummages in a pouch that's on the belt of her skirts and holds out a few coins to you. It's just a few silver. It's probably not as much as this job should be worth, but it's all I have right now, so
Hey,
thank
girl,
you for this.
muffins are payment enough. Keep it. Seriously, I'm doing okay. We don't know what's gonna happen these next few days. It might make all the difference. Go ahead and keep it. All right.
Okay. All right. Well, I will make more muffins and bring them round to you as payment. Keep you going these next few days.
If you insist.
Okay. Any requests for the type I make?
No, I trust you.
Okay. I'll see what I've got left. And she sort of like brushes down the front of the apron that she's wearing and heads back inside
Save
to
some
get some.
muffins for yourself too.
I always do. I get the ones that don't work out right. And she goes inside to get that started, look through what she has left, leaving you to finish up the job. Once you have completed this task, what do you think Kana would do?
I think she would just head back. Maybe just keeping an eye out. If she sees anyone whose horseshoe has fallen off on the way, or like, I'm sure she'll see more people that need help than she really can stop for because
Mm-hmm.
of the influx of folks.
Yeah, and
I
it's
think,
it's
yeah.
towards the south of the town that there is a sort of camp forming, and you know that there are people there who likely need all sorts of help. Not all of them are coming into the village of Lothering itself, proper. It's up to you if you would just take a bit of a wonder to see if there's specific help that you know you could offer, or whether you would wait for somebody to come to you. How proactive do you think Kana would be right now?
I think any other situation, she would be out there asking everyone what they need, doing everything she could, but there's just too many people and she's trying to leave soon.
Mm-hmm.
I think she will stop by. I think she will give a couple muffins to some kids,
Yeah.
especially if they are kids who are alone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I think she's gonna head back to her tavern. Her tavern. I think the reason I said that is because I was gonna on the way back just like poke my head in the door, see if anyone she knows is in there. But
Mm-hmm.
mostly heading back to keep packing up. She's got a lot of stuff
Yeah.
that needs to get secured.
It's fairly busy. There is likely a number of people that you know that are there during the day. The vast majority of people who are locals may be at work or doing things around the village itself. But it's there's definitely a few folks there. You're able to help a couple of people, and I will ask, when was the last letter that you sent up north?
when did you say we started hearing rumors,
So
news?
it's about a week since it was quite clear, and forces were heading south. Week and a
Okay.
half, maybe. And it
I
was
want
quite
to.
clear that the threat was large enough that it was requiring the armed forces of the country, and the king was mobilizing people. Clearly, then it was a serious issue. Whether people believed it to be an actual blight or not, that news is not necessarily spread to everybody yet. But the speculation was certainly very, very rampant as of about a week and a half ago.
Okay. I think pretty much immediately she would have sent an initial letter saying like, stay put, give me some time to figure out what I'm gonna do. I will come find you. And then I want to say maybe 2-3 days ago, kind of said, I've been able to pack up. I'm planning on heading out tomorrow. And just, I love you. Stay safe.
Yeah.
Be nice to your father, even if he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, you know that in theory, having likely written to that part of Thetis before, you know that it is not yet late from what you would assume a reply might come, with the distance that the Raven would have to travel to get there and then also make that round trip back again. You likely wouldn't have heard back yet, but sending that second letter when it was clear that you were not actually going to be staying here and waiting for either her to be brought back or for you to go up and collect. So yeah, knowing that it's not late yet, so that's not necessarily the worry, but still wanting to hear and wanting to know that she is okay will be quite prominent in your mind right now.
Yeah.
And perhaps just as you're finishing up your packing, we are going to pull away. The camera is going to pull back as you look very contemplative over the things that you're organizing, and pan out at first almost a bird's eye view of Lothering itself, looking particularly busy compared to what it normally is. It's still typically is somewhat sleepy village. It always kind of had been, but because it was somewhat of a travel nexus to various parts of this southern area of Thedas, travelers were to be expected. You are quite overrun currently. And it starts to move north and will sink down and swoop, almost following the trajectory of a bird, which has moved from the sky and perches on a fence at a field, with crops that are still there. And it, as we look into this field, we are going to see somebody who is working there. Phelan, can you please describe to us what we see as that camera pans into you, and what kind of thing you are doing right now?
Yeah. As we pan in, we see this kind of I will say it's maybe like a wheat field,
Hmm.
and we see this mop of like almost that same wheat color, like dirty blonde hair that's kind of blends in with the rest of the field. And you can't he's barely as tall as the wheat itself. He's maybe about 5'1", 5'2". Um but we see him and he's got this brown, clearly worn shirt that he's wearing, kind of comes up the neck a little bit, no sleeves, and is using his outerwear to kind of take grain and collect it as he's walking the fields. And you see his pants rolled up, and he's not wearing any shoes. And you see this dirty blonde mob of hair that's kind of half up, but part of it still falls on like the right side of their face. And as the light of the the sun kind of hits and kind of sneaks through some of the wheat, we kind of see a bit of his like these kind of honey brown eyes, um these wooden blue toned discs for earrings and jewelry. Even though he's working, he always seems to have those on. And he is just humming to himself as he's collecting some of this wheat, just doing his job.
What kind of song is he humming?
It's it's a Dalish lullaby that his mother used to sing to him.
Mm-hmm. It's there's a lot of pressure on a job like yours currently. I mean, working on a farm is tough going anyway. It's labor intensive, you know. But right now there is a pressure to make sure that everyone is fed right now, and so the demands on being able to actually get things in enough time to process what needs processed or distribute what needs distributed is a little higher than normal. So you've likely been working quite a bit longer hours maybe than you usually did. Um, how long do you think you've been working so far today?
What time of day is it currently?
It's about afternoon
Mm-hmm.
at this point. Yeah.
He gets up early. He gets up before the sun rises, so he's probably been working a few hours
Mm-hmm.
already. It's noon, so maybe a good 6, 7 hours already. With
Mm-hmm.
little tiny breaks here and there, but he's pretty efficient at what he does.
Mm-hmm. Um, as you're working, you will hear a voice of somebody approaching you. This is a person who also works these fields. And you can see a fairly tall. He's maybe about like 5'11", which
Tall.
is yeah.
Tall for me.
Yeah, this young human man, he's maybe just in his early 20s. He has a sort of shaggy mop of dirty blonde hair. Um a little dirtier on the brown side compared to yours. And sort of easygoing smile that seems to be on this person's lips almost at all times, even in the most difficult times or the hardest of work days. Always seems to find something to be jolly about. You would know this to be Eddard, who his light green eyes kind of like look you over a little bit, and the head tilts. As he's got a little bit of wheat sticking out of his mouth. He too is carrying bundles. Is it about time for another break?
Is it?
That would be a yes. That sounded like a yes to me. Let's go take a break.
Okay.
Yeah. You could do with a little sit down. Hydrate, you know?
He just looks himself over,
Yeah.
wondering how it looks for a person that looks like they need to sit down.
Uh-huh. Here, do you
Just
need any help
nods.
with that? Need any help?
No.
All right. Let's go. Come on. And he'll like nudge your shoulder and then just go sauntering off. He'll stick his own bundles down to the side and seems to go off to an area where you know that you kind of collect various bits and pieces you might need. Some tools at the side of the field, and there's some water skins there. So he'll pick one up and pick a second one up and just kind of like throw it at you without announcing that he's going to do it, just assuming that you're going to catch it as he opens his own. Do you want to roll a dexterity to try and catch this?
No, I'm gonna fail this automatically because I feel like Phelan was in the process of just putting down the bundles. And so as he throws it, he looks up, he drops the rest of the wheat and it hits him in the face.
Oh.
And he just stands there with his eyes closed like,
sorry, man. Sorry. You good?
Yeah.
You're right. Did I hurt you? And he kind of comes over and like inspects your face.
No, I'm fine. Sorry. I didn't catch it.
Yeah. Maybe you need to work on that.
Oh, and you didn't tell me.
You're right.
It's,
You're right.
it's
Sometimes I
time.
like act before I think. It's a bit of a problem. My mom always used to complain about it.
Yeah. She just kind of bends down and grabs the water skin.
Oh, I've got some of I need like rummage in some pockets and pull out it's like wax paper that's folded up, and he opens it to reveal what is essentially like a peanut brittle, if you're aware, like peanuts with the hard caramel. And sort of like hands you a chunk.
Oh,
Protein and some sugar. It's great. It's a good hit when you're working hard on a farm.
oh, thank you. And just takes a bite. It's like, this is good.
Yeah. You have to have strong teeth for it though. You got strong
Just-
teeth?
How do you measure the strength of your teeth?
Whether you can eat peanut brittle easily or not.
Takes a bite and it's analyzing how easy it is for him to chew this.
Uh-huh.
I think they're just regular strength.
Regular
Teeth.
strength. Well, that's good. That's good. Better than having, weak little nublets.
Is that like a, a measure of character?
It is now.
Oh,
He's
looks so
like
confused.
sitting back on a bit of wood with his feet up on the side of the fence, like getting him comfortable. Just sit down. Gotta be on her feet way too long in this job.
Okay.
Yeah.
He just kind of sits down. It's cross-legged, unlike him, who's like, I'm assuming he's splayed out. It's
Yeah.
just cross-legged against the fence and just drinking some water, eating some peanut brittle, and quiet.
Uh-huh. So some stuff going on right now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you believe it all?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. It seems dangerous,
Yeah.
and I guess we should just be careful. It doesn't hurt, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
I
I'm
mean,
always
to be
careful.
careful. Yeah.
Yeah.
He like looks at him like it's just replaying 2 seconds ago when he
Uh-huh.
hit him in the face with the water skin.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah. Um,
It's I guess a little worrying that the soldiers haven't come back yet. Do you think the big battle's done?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't. He just looks confused for a moment. um, I hope so.
Yeah.
Hope you guys. I mean, I hope we won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the king.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not so worried about that myself. But it would be good to have folks here. I mean, if there is something really dangerous out there, um, I don't know if too many of the people left behind the village will be able to, go toe to toe with creepy monsters. What about you?
What about me?
Feel capable of going toe to toe with creepy monsters, Phelan?
Just looks down at himself again.
Hey, everyone has a surprise in them, I'm not one to judge.
I can try. I'm not good at fighting. So,
I'm quite good at like wrestling, but that's about it.
wrestling seems uncomfortable.
Well, I guess it is if your opponent is a lot better than you, but I grew up with brothers, so you just learn to wrestle one another, I guess.
So is that like a common thing? Like you just learn to wrestle as a child? Are you guys always preparing to fight someone?
I don't know if that was necessarily preparing to fight. I think it was just, having a bit of fun with one another.
Oh, you fight for fun.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think if creepy monsters come to the village, I'll be able to wrestle my way out of it.
I wouldn't want to
Um,
touch that. So
yeah, I've never seen one before, so
hopefully we don't. I
yeah,
haven't seen one either.
yeah.
Um,
An awful lot of soldiers went down there, so I'm sure they got on just fine.
are you worried?
Um, I'm not sure. I guess I am kind of in that, like, if they come here, like, what will happen to everyone? Like, I'm worried for everyone, if that makes sense, rather than it just being about me.
I get it. I mean, usually you would scatter and then leave the people that fight to help, and then the women and children would hide, and you would try and get out as many as possible.
Yeah. I guess. Um, I don't know. Like, I want to, like, get a weapon of some sort and be ready to help defend if possible. Most of my family are further north, so I'm not too worried about them, but there's people in the village that I care about, and I don't really want them to, you know,
Yeah.
any
They
friends. And you could tell that, like, having negative thoughts is not a natural state for this person. So struggling to feel this negative feeling.
there's a moment where Phelan's like frowns and just pat on his shoulder. Um
It'll be fine though, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be fine. And and if it's not, we'll protect people, and then we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll protect people.
Yeah. I can do my best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet your best is awesome, Phelan.
There's just a kind of look on his face. Well, thank you. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll
Yeah.
be great. I'm sure you bring plenty skill. There's more than just like open conflict to help people, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really good at much, though. So, you know, I can.
I'm sure that's not true. You're really great at farming wheat, and that's awesome.
I suppose someone has to be.
Yeah. You
But
can like duck down into the wheat and they might not see you because your hair kind of blends in.
well,
Really
yeah.
good at hiding.
Well, it's not the hiding that worries me.
What
kind of
worries?
person would I be if I were to hide while everybody else was defending and running away?
Well, that's true, I guess. Unless, you know, not everyone is gonna survive a thing like that by just fighting.
I know.
Being able to hide and run is a really key skill set. That's a healthy approach to something that is very dangerous and over your head. It's a
I heard
solid
this-
approach, honestly.
I heard that it's really good if you heard swooping to hide.
Swooping is bad. Because, like, if something is swooping at you, then clearly it's got bad intent. Why would something be swooping if it had good intent? It's not gonna swoop down and be like, oh, I found your hat. Here. It's not gonna happen.
I mean,
There was magpies, like, roosting up on top of the old road there, and when they have a nest, I once went up to get, like, a good view, because it's a good place to, like, throw stones off of. I was a kid. But when I went up, and they were like, like, they thought I was coming for their, like, babies or something, and they would swoop down at me and, like, scratch my head. I still have a scar here, like, still a scar.
well, you're not really supposed to get close to the nest because then they'll feel threatened.
I didn't know they were up there. I was just going to throw some stones down at people.
Why were you going to throw stones at people?
I was a kid. It was kind of funny. There was this one guy who used to work at the other farm over there, and he was so grumpy. Like, oh man, just the worst. And so occasionally, you know, you'd wait, and the key is to, like, wait for a while, so he definitely doesn't think anything is up there. Like, a good half hour to an hour of just, like, you would have to take some snacks with you. Me and my friend used to be up there a lot. And then you'd wait, and then, like, while he was working, and then you just start throwing things down to hit his head. But we were hidden, so it would happen, and then he'd look around. He probably thought it was magpies swooping at him, but it wasn't. It was us.
Did you ever think he was grumpy because stones kept getting thrown at his head?
No, he was definitely grumpy before the stones. Like, he was just mean, you know?
Oh.
For no reason, really.
Oh. Well, that's
Yeah.
not good. I used to try and catch fish with my bare hands when I was a kid.
Wow, did you manage?
No.
Oh. Well.
You have to be really quick.
Yeah.
And because the moment that you touch the water, that vibration, not just obviously the shadows, actually also the fish are kind of attracted to. So if you're not stealthy enough, even though they're underwater, they will sense you very, very quickly. And they have really, really fast reflexes.
Maybe you had to, like, leave your hands in the water for ages so that they kept swimming past the hand, and they got used to the hand being there, so they don't think that anything is wrong, and then just as you see one going through your hands, then you grab it. You should try that.
I tried, but then my mom said my hands were gonna freeze off, so
Oh,
I couldn't.
yeah, that's
So,
fair.
yeah, stream water's cold.
Yeah. Maybe you need, like, a spear, like a stick, really sharp stick.
I wasn't allowed to have sharp sticks as a child.
Why?
Safety reasons is what my dad used to say.
Yeah, but, like, you have to learn how to hunt and provide for your people.
I mean, there's people designated for that.
Oh, were you not designated for that?
No, it was a child.
What were you designated for when you know?
As a child?
Well, as you got a little older than child.
Oh,
You know, I mean, I started working the farms when I was like 7 or 8.
well, I was learned from my mom, how to kind of help people, and we were a small community, and so we needed. My mom was like a like a lot of people looked to her for like advice and help, and then she wanted me to like take over someday.
Nice.
Yeah.
You are very wise.
I mean, I know a lot about animals.
Yeah, and you've been teaching me so much since you started working here. I have learned a bunch.
Cool. I'm glad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm a farmhand, so I just guess
Yeah.
I'm.
If we'd been friends as kids, you would have taught me about how to handle the swooping magpies before I had to deal with them and got the scar. I bet.
Yeah, you can't wear anything shiny because they will be instantly attracted to that.
That's fair. I don't really have anything shiny. Apart from, like, you know, if you get a little sweaty working the farms. Would that count? Would they think you were something shiny and come down and try and get it?
Maybe. It depends on how well and how sweaty you are, how well they can see, and if the light's shining at the right angle.
Okay. I will try not to do that then. Okay. I've been thinking about trying to get a bit of jewelry.
Oh,
Not for me, but for Enid.
oh,
Maybe I
that's
should
that's
not.
the girl you like, right?
Yeah, the one at the tavern.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't get her something that's shiny. In case something swoops at her.
You could get her like, and he'll like, kind of like tug at his wooden jewelry.
Do you think she would appreciate that?
I mean, I think anyone would appreciate a gift that you spent time and effort and thought into.
You could always make one. I do know how. I'm not like great at whittling, but I can do it. Maybe I should make her something.
I think if you try, I think that's gonna be better than getting something that somebody else made. And then maybe you can carve her name into it.
Yeah, and like little patterns and stuff.
Yeah. She
Thanks, man. That's great
Yeah.
advice.
She likes flowers?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's the little like the cornflowers, the little blue ones. I can maybe
Put
like paint it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Gonna be busy, huh?
Yeah. You should focus on doing that after work instead of worrying. That's what my mom always said. Instead of worrying, you should just focus your energy on creating things.
Okay. Yep. I will do that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Phelan.
Of course. Also, can you please not throw water skins at my face anymore?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I just, like my brain was like, I should give him the water skin so he doesn't have to like come and get it himself. And I didn't think to like, hey, I'm throwing the water skin at you. I just
It feels
assumed.
almost like a slap because it's
Oh.
full.
Yeah, I am so sorry.
It's okay. It didn't hurt that bad.
Alright.
I'd prefer it if it didn't happen again. But like if it does because you already told me and I just didn't catch it, that's on me.
We could do a little bit of catch as well to like, sharpen up the instinct.
Let me look at my dexterity. I'm pretty okay at catch. I just wasn't
expecting it. Yeah,
and like I still had wheat in my arm. I should actually go pick up the wheat that I dropped.
Yeah, I'll help. And you know what? It's nearly time to like actually stop like for food. So first drinks on me at the tavern. Listen, we've been working like enough hours now. We're officially done.
Okay.
We'll be getting
okay.
tagged out soon. I'll get you a drink.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right, let me help with the wheat, and he'll kind of like get up, brush himself off, and then like offer you a hand and pulls you with a bit more strength and vigor than you were maybe anticipating.
Yeah, entirely.
Woo! Come on, man. Pats the back again with a hand stronger than after the pat and the leaning over to pick up the bundles of wheat, we once again are going to pan away from that scene and head a little further in. I would say likely following the little bird that had been sat on this fence, just chilling, watching this whole conversation going on, and decides, I'm done. And will get up and flit and fly away and start to follow the path that leads in towards the village. And as it does, we can see a cart being pulled by a very hardworking and wonderful, delightful mule with a person walking beside it. Beverly, please, if you can, as the camera swings around and we get to see you, can you describe what we see when you look at you and where you have just been?
Absolutely. Since it is about midday afternoon, Beverly is currently walking to deliver some some loads of laundry to people. I think the camera comes down, swoops down, and you could just see, as if you're walking behind her, as she will reach into the cart as it comes to a stop and pull out a bag full of clean clothes. And she's actually walking up to the tavern, and there's probably a couple of people like still passed out or hungover from the previous night, or currently still drinking their worries away. And Beverly will just walk up to them, throw the bag at them as they're sleeping to wake them up, and say, "Get up, you lazy louts. You are honestly just as bad as some of the deserters. Like, come on, get yourselves together."
You can just see the movement of a pair of limbs underneath the clothing that you threw. And there's a man who's going to stand up. I imagine actually somebody who also works the fields, maybe the one that will eventually replace the two who will be stopping for their lunch soon. And we'll kind of look over at you and look down at the clothing on the floor and be like, I was just taking an afternoon nap.
Of course you were. I'm sure your mother would be glad to hear about what you've been doing with your time.
I don't think that's necessary, Beverly. That's a little below the belt, that one.
Definitely not. No, obviously you are on time for work. 100%.
I kind of looks around, clearly isn't 100% sure what the time is right now. Looks outside. I am definitely on time. Yeah. Because otherwise the people I'm replacing may be here on their lunch, and they are not.
All right, well, far be it for me to understand exactly what your schedule is. But, you know, your laundry's in there. There's some of the others as well. Just pass it around, you know, whose is whose.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your work.
You're
have
quite
I
welcome.
already paid you for this?
Yes, I take my payment up front from you lot.
Yeah, I remember that now, yeah. Sensible, honestly. That's good business sense you have there, Beverly.
Yeah, I try my best. But I sometimes you get cheated a few too many times from people who think that they are a little bit smarter, and
I
not
would
gonna
never
do that anymore.
Yeah.
No, you would never. Definitely not.
Yeah. Well, I hope you have a fine day. Is there anything I can help you with before I take this home and get to work?
You haven't been by the refugee camp recently, have you?
No, not really. Passed by there a few days ago. I had to go and deliver a message outside of town, but no. Do you need someone to?
No, I'll stop by at some point, but I just wanted to offer my services. A lot of them were quite unsure whether to like actually accept help or not, and you know, I'm gonna keep trying.
Yeah. Well, you have a good heart on you, Beverly.
You know it.
He says as he sighs and it starts to bundle up the the clothing and laundry and gets it slung over his shoulder. Well, you have a good one, Bev. I'll get you a drink later, yeah?
Oh yeah, definitely. Looking forward to it.
All right.
I think with that, Beverly will leave the tavern area and probably hear like a distant bark and turn around to see a large dog, a Mabari hound, come bounding up to her and just stop short of like full on like tackling her to the ground, but is obviously very excited and jumping around. And she goes, "Oh, Whiskey, darling, it's so nice to see you." It doesn't have to quite bend down to pet him because he's so large, but like will obviously like grab his face and like give him lots of
Is doing that
scratches.
thing where dogs do like it's stopped being a tail wag and it's like the whole
full
like
body,
back end of their
yes.
body, like they did
100%. Oh, it's like, who's a good boy? It's just
rolls over on the back, is like,
gives him belly scratches.
Yeah.
All right, you're definitely gonna go wake up those people who are still just refusing to wake up, right?
Yep. There is a head tilt, and as you certainly know, and the vast majority of Fereldans know, Mabari, even beyond other dogs, have a a very keen sense of understanding. They are exceptionally smart hounds. So the dog gonna tilt its head at first, giving you that kind of look that's a little, that look. It's like you might think that they are not very sensible, and then will just rough at you in understanding and goes into the tavern to go after the people and starts. You hear like barking and be like, "Hey, don't sniff there! What are you doing? Oh no, give me that back!"
Perfect. Perfect. It's exactly what you wanted him to do. But yeah, I think Bev's gonna take her cart and her mule and head over, probably closer to where the not quite where the refugee camp is, but a little bit further outside of the like center of town to where her parents live.
Yeah.
Bring them a big old bag of laundry.
Very happy to receive. As is always the case, you go in and there is food that's kind of always ready. Particularly in this part of Ferelden, I think it's usually like soups or stews. Because very famously they take a bunch of really good ingredients and they cook it all together until it turns somewhat grey brown. But it will taste good and it's very nourishing.
Oh yeah.
So it is. It starts getting prepared early in the morning, and then there's just a big pot that is there and ready for either yourself or anyone else who happens to be coming by, and you were made to sit down and be given a bowl of food for your afternoon meal.
Beverly will gladly sit down and ask her parents, is like, so what did Fendley say in his last letter? Like he and Sierra have left town already, right? They're already kind of going up further north.
Yes, and and this is your mother who's speaking up because your father usually knows better than to be the one speaking up. It's just like knows his place. Well, just like he'll like hum and do like the dad sounds of like agreeing or disagreeing, or just like general commentary through the sound effects that the dads are good at. She was like, yeah, no, they've already traveled. No, I'm waiting to hear back. Obviously they will need to send word once they have settled in and to. There's just so much uncertainty right now, Beverly, and I'm really not keen on it. I don't know about you.
I mean, I don't know if it's necessary for everybody to be like jumping ship immediately. We don't even know like what the whole army thing is doing down south. Like, I'm sure they're fine.
Exactly. And like all of our best men and women all went down ready to fight, as is the case everywhere around Ferelden. Things might have gone smoothly. I mean, obviously
I heard the king is there from some of the people coming through.
right, and Grey Wardens.
Exactly.
Wow. I bet it's quite the sight. But I feel like it'll be a tale for people. Obviously, people will be lost as they often are in conflict. But yeah, there's no way. I think we're fine just where we are, aren't we, dear? And he
Well,
kind of raises an eyebrow. You're not sure how much he necessarily agrees, but like knows better than to comment right now while she has a ladle in her hand.
okay.
It's just like, dear,
Well,
what about you, Bev? And he'll look to you.
Well, I mean, you two are going to be put in a little bit of a tight spot since you get your grain from Fendley, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, a lot of things are pretty scarce on the ground right now.
That's true. I mean, there's what's his name? Eddard? He has a couple of like farmhands that are still working. Maybe you guys could make a deal with him instead.
Right. Yes. I'm sure we could. He'll understand. It's if ever there is a time where people need a good brew, it is at times of conflict, especially when people are coming back home, and maybe we could capitalize on what's going on and create batches that are, in honor of everyone who went off and defended us so well.
That would be lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, I don't plan on leaving. I don't see the big rush. I mean, I trust. But, who am I to tell people what to believe?
Well, that's true. And some people do love things just to, news and gossip about and worry people needlessly. And I understand there are people here just on the outskirts there that have gone through some horrible things, I'd never deny that of them, but,
Your cats are going nuts, by the way. Like, they're just jumping everywhere.
It's zoomy hour, clearly, and they ended up getting some of the meat from the stew, which I did, and you see like your dad like shrinking it. It must have just fallen off there. She's like, sorry, that there's not
I'm
as much
sure.
meat in there as there normally is, my dear.
That's all right. That's all right. We can make ends meet. But speaking of the stew, would it be all right if I took a pot of it over to the refugee camp? I was going to go offer some
that's a
laundry services for those who
wonderful
have been
idea.
traveling.
Yes, I'll go and get my other big pot, and I'll get some more going, because there's quite a few of them. I mean, this I don't know how far this will necessarily go, but you can use your cart, can't you? And just
Absolutely.
that's great. That's wonderful. Yeah. Do you need any help with that?
I would love some help, but I can carry the big stuff. That's fine. I'm quite used to carrying like a heavier load.
Yes, you are. Yes, you definitely get that from me, dear, not him. And she'll nudge.
Mom, you really could at least try and be a bit nicer to Dad.
I am lovely to him most of the time. I'm just a little unhappy that he decided the cats were more in need of that meat than we necessarily were. And she's gonna look at him, and there's like a moment of like not sure who needs to give ground, and she's gonna lean down and like just kiss the bald top of his head.
There we go. That wasn't so hard, was it?
No. Well, gotta keep him on his toes. Don't
Of
wanna
course,
get
I
him
wouldn't
too
expect
comfortable.
anything else.
No. Yeah. You'll know all about that when you get married.
Yeah, she sleeps.
She says as she goes to like sort out another big pot. Your dad is gonna look up at you and like give you just a little smirk. Says nothing.
She gives like a little low thumbs up to him.
Uh-huh. He has always been of the opinion that he just wants you happy. Just wants all of his family to be happy in whatever form that takes.
I think Beverly will like go over and give him a hug and like a kiss on the side of the head and say, "It's always nice to see you.
I know, it's good to see you there.
Thanks for feeding the cats."
Listen, they needed it.
Hey, they're also
how
mouths
can
to
I
feed.
refuse? I know, but how can you refuse that? Look how cute they are. How can I say no?
Yeah, I have no room to talk. I left whiskey in the tavern, and I got Jessica outside.
How's Whiskey doing?
Whiskey is doing fantastic. It's a little bit difficult with harder to come by supplies because he eats quite a lot.
I wasn't sure if he was going to come with you, and he's going to reach down in his pocket, and he is one of those family members that will always have like jerky or things like that in pockets for any of the animals he ends up seeing, particularly Whiskey. But like if someone else's dog comes by, he's gonna be like, oh, look at you, and just makes friends.
I'm sure he will love this. That's fantastic. I can always count on you to give him more treats than he needs.
He is a hard working young man. He deserves the treats that he gets.
He does. He absolutely deserves it. I would
Growing
never...
boy.
Oh yeah, he's still growing. He is... I cannot keep up with it.
No. It's all muscle there as well,
All muscle.
He's a healthy boy.
Yeah, I finally got him to stop jumping up on me because there's only so much I can take. I know that like most people would have like fallen a long time ago, but I'm getting to that point.
I understand. Yeah. Well, if he comes this way, you let him know. I've got something for him.
I'll be sure to let him know to stop by.
Well, if you need any help with your efforts to the refugees, you just let me know.
Of course, I will. Thank you
I
for
have
the
a
help that
few-
you are providing.
Of course, of course. There's a couple just over there. And you can see that he has there's a few smaller, usually it's more like personal like kegs of beer. It's not like the big kinds that's gonna serve a full tavern. There's a couple of those and like a bag that seems to have like vegetables and stuff in it. And he's like, I was pulling together what I could. Thought I'd eventually go down myself and hand things over, but if you're heading anyway, you might as well stick that on your cart and see who needs it.
That's very kind of you. So thoughtful.
Of course. You get that from me.
Bev winks back.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, why don't I help you get this stuff into your cart, yes?
Yes, of course.
Okay. And he will come out and help load those things off. Eventually, your mum, you can see that she's getting quite busy. She's taken out her big pot, which is the one that she tends to do if there's going to be company over, and has already started to peel things and gets another big stew going for once the current one is used up. But they help you get rigged up, and you're able to head around. There is definitely people here who are grateful for your assistance, multiple families, and it seems that a few of them have congregated together, particularly if they have fled from the same kind of community. They're sticking close together and supporting each other. So you're able to just get these things dished out, and they seem to know who is most in need of certain types of things. So you're able to do your good deed. Eventually, I think Whiskey is going to come and join you, and seems to be enjoying the fact anytime you come down to help out the refugees, Whiskey is all over it because there are so many people there that it brings a smile to their face to get to pet a dog, and he gets so much pets and scritches.
I'm sure
and,
the kids love him.
Yeah, they get to ride around.
Taller than they are.
He's basically a mount, so they get to like sit on his back, and he just loves that, getting to do like little runs around. And I would say when you go down there, there's maybe a family where there's a couple of kids who've made what is essentially like a little hat that has like various bits of fabric and paper that have been made to look like little colored swirlies to give him a little hat. So they're like dressing him up when you go over to like head away, and you're just like,
oh goodness, Whiskey. Look
Sits
at
there,
that.
butt going while he's sitting. So it's just like his whole body is wobbling at the moment, and the hat is like welcome.
Sweet boy.
Yeah.
Do you like your new hat?
Both.
I think it's lovely.
Yeah, it's clearly super proud.
Super proud.
Which just seems to bring even more smiles to the people that you then go and see after that family. They are quite enjoying the the adornment on your dog. In fact, you will find later if you try to take it off him, he will be most displeased.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah. But eventually, you are able to head your way back. After your business is done, you'll be able to head to the tavern for the evening, as is often the case. I would also like, because I've just noticed that Kate has made a very good point, that we should describe what a Mabari hound looks like for those in the audience who maybe don't know. What does Whiskey look like?
Oh gosh, if you are familiar with dog breeds, you can think of like a Mastiff Hound or like a Cane Corso. They're very, very large, muscular, bred to be war dogs. They can be anywhere from like a light tan color to like a dark color. I think Whiskey is like a light tan with darker spots on his muzzle, his ears, and around his paws. He probably stands about like, Bev's about 5'8". He probably stands about like mid chest for her. Quite a large dog, honestly, and has a beautiful little hat now. But the like small little folded ears.
Yeah, is very much a big boy. Mabari hounds are very much encapsulate the Heckin Chonker title. I think it's an accurate description.
Yeah.
But as you are heading back into the town after helping people both with supplies, a few small cases of beer, and the delights of your pupper, we are going to go to our break. We have met 3 of our wonderful Lothering natives. We have 2 we will be meeting after that break. We will be taking about 10 minutes so that we can hydrate, stretch your legs, that sort of thing. And we recommend that you in the audience do as well, but please do come back after those 10 minutes so that we can carry on our adventure and our exciting premiere. Right, see you in 10, everyone.
Me what?
Hi,
Hi,
everybody. How you doing? I hope you're well rested. I hope you stretched your leggies and that you hydrated. It is important to take care of yourself. We have had our first half of this wonderfully wholesome game where we're just living in a village. You know, it is very Stardew Valley. It is Animal Crossing. Things are chill. Don't worry about it. I'm sure it will remain that way. We met 3 of our characters in the first half, where there were various types of conversations. All 3 had very different moods, all delightful as each other. What we're gonna do is pan into our next character. Oriana, where are you right now? And as our camera finds you, what do we see?
So the camera, when it starts panning in, it actually goes back up like it has been, and then starts going towards the edge of Lothering. And what you see is just from the top going into her face, green hood that's held together by cord, nothing you would normally use for outerwear. It looks like it's from drapes, maybe, kind of like ripped off real quick and tied together, barely hold everything together. And her clothes don't fit quite right, and again aren't really made out of material you normally would see as everyday or travel garb. Even the pants look almost like potato sack material. They're really coarse and they don't fit. Like one leg is like longer than the other. It's all choppy at the bottom. Her face is tannish but has like freckles all over her face, green eyes, and then there's just some horrific hair sticking out. Like it's not even one side's way along the other. The bangs are short and clearly not even. Like it's a mess. She's a mess. Fresh scar on her nose. Looks like a chunk's just been taken out of it. It's healed, but it's not, doesn't match her skin tone quite yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's just covered in mud and leaves and twigs, and she's just got in her hands rabbits, pheasants, just wildlife from around. Not as much as she would normally have, but yeah, just hood up, just like that like outward appearance of don't look at me, like don't notice me. And she's making her way back into Lothering, looking for Elder Miriam or some of the other elders that are helping refugees out.
Yeah. You're able to make your way in, and you see one of the people who are locals. It's a gentleman that has been. You've noticed him helping out refugees fairly frequently. And as you enter into the city, you see him come towards you with the look on his face as if you very clearly look like somebody who needs some help. And comes over with the prepared speech of, do you need a bed? Do you need healing? Do you need food? And then just got this like a moment where he's like, wait, no, I recognize you. So he's about to start that sentence and then sort of like retracts it a little bit, and it's like, oh, you've been hunting.
Yeah, that's kind of how I've been helping y'all. Here's some rabbits for everybody.
Did you go into their warrens?
I mean, I didn't have to.
But you did anyway?
Okay.
Or
Yep.
I'm not sure. Wait, did someone attack you? You know what? It's
Nope.
fine. I'm okay. I can take these. Maybe we can go. I'll walk with you. We can go and see Miriam.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you need
Thanks.
anything?
All right. Yeah. I'm fine, thank you. Okay,
Okay.
it's fine.
And she just like adjusts a little bit, and like,
Uh-huh.
there's like all her clothes are held together by these horrific like threads that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Yeah, I figured you can use them for tomorrow. For
Yeah. We can make sure we distribute these to people who can cook them up.
Yep.
Maybe make it into something that'll spread a little more. There's a fresh batch arrived today, so.
Oh, good. Okay.
Anyway, he kind of.
And I need supplies too.
Oh, okay.
I figured might be a good trade, like dried food and.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Of course. Whatever you need. Whatever you need. Yeah.
Thank you.
Just sort of walks along beside you as you head further into Lothering and over the little bridge. You can see Elder Miriam is there speaking with a group of people. It seems to be either a family or some sort of mismatched group that are perhaps new to the area. It seems a lot of them are still carrying things on their backs. And she looks over and there's recognition of you and also Garth, who's the guy that came in with you. She, oh, hi. Oriana, it's good to see you. How are you, dear?
You too, Elder Miller. I'm good, thank you. Are y'all okay? Can I get you anything?
Well,
I mean, I have a pheasant.
A pheasant. That'd be great. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
It'll all of it's needed, dear. Yep. Thank you for everything that you do. It really is appreciated.
And thank you for trading with me. I appreciate it.
Of course. There is a few people trading now. There is the one guy over there, but he's not very pleasant.
Yeah. I'll see if he needs it. I've got a few more birds. So.
Okay. Very good, dear. Well, anything that you need, you just need to say.
Yeah. Because I do have a few items, but I actually could really use like bandages or anything like that. I kind of.
She lifts her arm. It's not a pretty picture. It's like shredded. Like it.
Oh
it's
my
not
goodness,
bad.
dear.
It's not bad. I just don't want to drip blood everywhere, and
right,
I'll need it
yes.
for later.
You come over here, and she'll
Okay.
direct for you to come over and sit down on just a crate near to where she is, and she has a bit of a rummage, and you know that like for the past few days to a week now, minor healing supplies like this have really been in quite short order. A lot of people that are making their way here have had some kind of encounter, whether it is from something violent towards the south, like the Darkspawn, or whether it was just the struggles of making their way here, or bandits taking advantage of them. But she does find something. It's just strips of cloth mostly, that are basically fit for purpose. And she will fold one up and rest it against where the wound is, and then just wrap it so that at least it's going to try and deal with the immediate issue.
Mm-hmm. And we're by the chantry, correct?
Mm-hmm. You're not far from it.
Yeah, because I think she's kind of got her head down. Just, so the redhead's gone.
Yes, she just left. Was it yesterday, the day before? Now she headed off. Quite an unusual thing, really. And they took the Kunari. That's
the one in the cage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'm not really sure.
I mean, I know he was in there for a reason, but
yes,
seems a little rough. I wouldn't want to be in a cage.
Well, no, I can't imagine anyone would want to. But
yeah, and knowing that the redhead is gone, she'll just kind of take the head back and just it's bad. It's basically like it's not good. It's even the parts that are like close to her head, you could tell were just hacked off. It's a shag mess. Yeah, it's not good.
Okay. I have a sister-in-law that could maybe deal with that for you, if you need it. Just anything that you might need. She's very good at fixing things and has a bit of seamstress skills and just to make sure that you're
Oh.
braced for the
No,
elements, dear.
it's
You're
fine.
out there on the
Thank
road
you.
all the time, and it's cold at night, and I worry that you're not well protected.
Oh, actually, I could use a blanket. That would be great.
I can get you a blanket.
Thanks.
Hmm.
And definitely eases a little bit, but not much.
Uh-huh.
Just kinda takes a little bit of a sigh. Like, oh, okay.
Garth has already kind of wandered off, which has left the animals that you'd managed to hunt here and ready to be distributed to people who can turn these into meals. Did you hear anything interesting while you were out on the road?
It's mostly movement. People, forces coming down to the south, and then I didn't see anyone out in the woods, thankfully, but it was weird. It was like the animals are running towards me, like I wasn't the enemy. It was really strange. And some of the plants that I normally would have gotten, so everything doesn't taste like total crap. They didn't look right. I didn't want to bring that to y'all. I thought it might be bad.
More troubling news after troubling news right now.
Yeah, it seemed weird. I again, like when do rabbits run towards you, right? It's weird. I mean, it helps us, but
right.
yeah, it made that job a lot easier.
I suppose it's a silver lining, dear.
Yeah, it was really weird. Figured just take advantage before we all, might have to change what we do.
Yes. I'm hoping that the soldiers and our fighting men and women come back to us.
Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't hear any of them.
Right, yes. No, that wouldn't
Okay.
be good.
Okay.
Okay, well, do you need somewhere to rest tonight, dear?
Oh, no, I have my tent out there. I'm fine. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, well, I know that most places are packed out and have been for a while, but I feel bad. You do so much for us, dear. I would like to know that you at least have a proper roof over your head.
I mean, the tent has a roof. It's fine. It's honestly, it's okay. It lets me see stars out. I like that. And keep an eye out on things. That way, if anything's coming, I can just let y'all know. And y'all give me plenty. I have way more gear than what I had when I got here, so I feel better. Prepared.
If you're sure.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Well,
Thank you.
over there in that crate, you will find a blanket. Maybe a little threadbare, but it's something. And well, we've got your wound dressed up. Is there anything else that you need? I might have you deliver the animals to the tavern, if you will. I know that they're looking for it.
I was actually going to go visit Donald next. Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Okay.
Thank you. I can do that. And if you need anything, just let me know. Okay. Also, if the redhead comes back. I don't think she will, but just in case. She just offsets me. Sorry.
It's all right. She was a little bit much, if we're being honest. She was quite.
I mean, I get the chant of light and of course Baker and all of that, but it's a little much. Every time you talk to her.
Yes. And
her whole I'm here for a purpose and all of that.
Yes. And everything sounds just a little judgmental with an Orlesian accent.
A little bit. Yeah, it does.
Just a little. Well, she seemed to be called to a higher purpose and left with some people. They were quite helpful, actually. Managed to get us some health poultices, which was lovely. But
well, that's nice.
Yes, but that excitement gone for now. I think we turn our attention towards feeding people. If you could bring that over, that would be very, very wonderful, my dear.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah.
Sorry about the
blood. Okay. She'll just get up and grab her stuff, and then the last bit of animal she caught, and then get a bedroll and things that she can.
Mhm.
Not taking too much, but just enough that she can survive with.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you pick up the bits and pieces that you need. You're able to deliver the animals into the tavern through their kitchen area. They're cooking up some things, and this will definitely fill them up, make sure everyone's getting plenty protein in their diet. So they're grateful for your efforts. Once again, as is always the case when you go and bring them these things, they offer you some place to stay. It seems like everybody here they want to help as best they can.
Yeah, I don't want to get dirt on everything, so it's okay. Thank you. Also, I honestly would set off all those traps out there. So it's fine. I know my area well. Thank you. Okay.
So
Here's some rabbits. Okay.
yeah.
They're
As you-
sad little dangling things.
Yeah, you know what? So you're able to pass that off. And as you're turning to leave, our view kind of comes past you, lifts up into the air once again. It's getting a little darker now. We're definitely getting a little closer to the evening time. People are starting to move either from workplaces to other people's homes, moving into the taverns. People going and collecting into their homes for the day. And as we do that, we pull away further still from Lothering, and it seems almost like we are leaving it behind. But instead, we come down onto the road, the West Road, which moves from Denerim through Lothering and heads towards the likes of Redcliffe. And we can see a traveller on the road currently. Iranin, if you could, I would like you to describe what we see as our camera pans down to you, and what your journey has been like, and what your last mission was.
So, Eranan is chastened with not so much of the wilder. She's a strange kind of image in a way. She has the war paint of her tribe, which is very much blended into kind of makeup. So she's got this sort of her roots, but she's also looking very, very glam. It's getting to the evening, so she's pulled a shawl around her shoulders. Her shoulders and her neck and her chest are all sort of covered in tattoos. But she's still carrying her shoes. She likes the sort of the feel of the earth on her feet, so she's been walking bare feet for most of the day. And she's a wanderer, basically. She moves around Ferelden from town to village, and she'll pick up jobs. She's a musician and a dancer, so she spends a lot of her time entertaining. But she's also someone who loans herself to people's needs, whatever they might be. And she spends certain periods of time maybe on a farm or in a manor house, and wherever it might be. She's come from a farm recently, but she's been travelling probably for quite a while now. She is a very light-hearted and giving person, but we're seeing in Eranan is a little bit different. She's been hearing troubling news, and she's got a worried expression in her eyes at the moment, and she's not quite as light and carefree as normal.
All right, and where was the last place that you left, where you say? Was it another town? Was it a large city? I imagine, given the road that you were traveling on, you may have come from Denerim.
Yeah, I think it maybe stopped off on a sort of a small farmstead between Denerim and here, but yeah, mostly she spent like a good few months in Denerim, like picking up the bulk of her work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As you're traveling along the road, I would like you to roll a perception check. multiple of your senses could apply, although maybe not smelling. So if you have a focus in something, you can let me know what it is, and you can roll with that focus. Otherwise, just roll straight perception for me as you travel this road.
Yeah, I have tracking, which is probably not.
Not necessarily with what we're doing right now.
No. So I just hit perception. Okay.
Okay. So we have 17 with a 3-point stunt. An incredible roll by all accounts. So as you are traveling, you are aware, as always, of other people who may travel the roads, particularly when you're on specific roads and not just off track. And there have been people passing you by throughout the day. A number of them are, whether it be families or just like small groups with one of the large carriages that they're traveling on. A few people just walking by foot. Occasionally, people may have stopped to speak with you as you were passing by, but most of them seemed fairly single-mindedly traveling and a little anxious of others. And you've not had company for a little stretch, maybe about half an hour. And you can see a couple people on the road ahead of you. And this is not necessarily unusual, but what you do realize as you get closer is that this is two fellow chastened wilder people. You can tell in the way that they dress, this sort of jewelry adornments that they wear, their own face markings and tattoos, that you recognize as chastened, although not of your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And they are moving with some purpose along the road. So as you're on the approach and you can see them, would you approach this pair in a particular way?
Yes. I think Aranan is quite happy that she's been by herself for the last half an hour, because it takes a lot of effort to. I would imagine that a lot of other people are kind of worried, picking up sort of bad news, and so she would be spending her time trying to make them feel better, which puts a lot of strain on her. But she's particularly worried about home, and seeing some chastened out, she will probably actually kind of skip into a bit of a run and rush up to them and speak in a way that most people don't hear her. She suppresses her accent. She's kind of given herself a Ferelden RP.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think she'll probably just like gush at them quickly. Like,
Yeah.
Have you come from the wilds? Have you heard anything from Chivoya? It's a little village in the middle of the mountains.
We know that place. No, that's not where we came from. We've come from further south than that. Why are you going in this direction?
I've come from Denerim, but I'm picking up the new. I have to get to Lothering. I need to get supplies, and there's people there that I'll need to see. How bad is it?
It's bad. It's bad.
I've had no ravens return at all.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's most have fled. Those that could, anyway. It's... I don't know how to explain it. It's like the forest... It didn't protect us.
No, but not just... I mean, how... Not the whole forest, surely.
The wilds are claimed. I don't think they're ours anymore.
They're saying, like every region has sent soldiers down. I've spoken to everyone on the path. They're saying they're fighting darkspawn.
Aye. It's... there aren't even words to describe the things that we've seen. We too, our friend is off. Just in the tree line there.
Is he all right?
Yeah, well, to relieve himself, but
Oh.
it's we're all that's left of our lot anyway.
Your
There
whole
are, yeah, yeah. They just swarmed at us like they were coming out of the ground itself. We live with the land, and it had always kept us safe, but not from this.
Have you seen any other tribes? Has anyone else made it out?
Yeah, we there were a few that made it to. I mean, we passed. We didn't go into Lothering itself. We passed by, but there were some that were fleeing. Most are making it north. This sort of thing, it I'm not sure they'll be happy just to settle with the marshes. That kind of thing, it spreads.
It can't be happening. And you heard nothing of Chavoya. You've heard nothing of the Blackhawk family.
No, they're we're not in our path. But we made it out, and I know that others did. You'd be best to turn back. Oh, there's no good back there. There's no good.
I need to get Lothering. I'll head off from there. I need to get before the light's gone.
All right. One more night, I would say, and then there won't be much time after that.
That close.
Aye.
All right. I thank you.
Yeah.
And take care of each other.
And you. What was your name?
I'm Aranan, Blackhawk.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
I'm
What's your name?
Korath.
Kareth.
This is Branwyn, and you see there's a woman standing beside him, and he's like, and that log over there is Amund.
If tell me where you're heading, and if we ever meet up again.
Well, we were heading north along the road. I think there's the big capital, Lyrium, probably. At least getting as far as there, and then there will hopefully be more options than just fleeing on foot.
Just be careful in the city, all right? There'll be a lot of people in your situation, but you might find it hard.
No doubt it. But we've just dealt with worse. I'm not afraid of a few Lyrium puff-ups.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Well, I'll speak to you, and hopefully our paths will cross again.
Right.
And I'm sorry.
I don't know if it's worth praying anymore, Aranan, to our gods. I think they may have abandoned us by what we just saw.
Don't think like that. It's always worth it.
Pray you don't see it too.
I pray my family haven't.
Right. Well, safe travels.
She reaches out, sort of like touches both their hands, but then she's almost going to run at this point. She turns and starts sort of hurrying down towards the Lothering.
Yeah. And you are able to make your way in, knowing that soon the sun will be fully down below the horizon, and darkness will take the night. As you're heading in, you pass by the outskirts. There are a couple ways in for someone like yourself. There is obviously the main road in that you could take, but you will often take the northern edge, given that you have someone who is a fairly common contact for you that has all sorts of information to spill. It is up to you if you were heading there first or if you were heading straight into the heart of the village. Where do you think Aranan is going next?
I think Arenan would go to see Eddard. I think what I'm not sure about is how much news has come through to Lothering, and I think she'd like to see what the vibe is before she goes in to see other people that she knows.
Especially because I think as a person whose skill set and her whole energy is about the reading of others and understanding what they may need or want in a moment. Certain groups of people to come in with big scary news can be met with a few reactions. Sometimes maybe disbelief. Sometimes it can cause panic, which actually can lead to further harm. And so you would at least understand the way that the general public may work. To know that going in and throwing out something big may do more harm than good. So a cautious approach makes sense. As you head in, you know the regular areas. You may check the field first and find that Eddard is not there. And so you know the small... It's essentially a hut. It is where he stays, and he's got space there that he offers to you when you are staying, so that you don't have to worry about paying for the tavern or what have you. Gives you a bed to sleep on while you were here. And you can see him actually just leaving. You can see him sort of like pulling on his outer layer and adjusting that and sorting his hair. It's not even in a mirror, he's not looking at anything, but he's sorting his hair regardless. And will sort of spot you as you approach. And gives you a big easy smile, as he often does. Hey, fancy seeing you here.
Yeah, I've kicked my shoes on just before like approaching him. Take a deep breath and approach far calmer and more sedate than I have been. So then I greet his. Hi, Eddard. How are you?
Good, yeah. Had a busy day. Learned about magpies today.
Magpies?
Pretty interesting. Yeah, do you know about magpies?
I know a lot about magpies, Eddard.
Don't wear shiny things. I learned that today.
Where are you learning about magpies from?
Oh, this wee guy that I work with. This elven guy, really wise, understands much more about animals than I do.
Well, from the last time I met you and you had that incident with the that wild boar, that doesn't surprise me at all. So,
you know what? You live and you learn. Every day's a school day, as they say. That's what they say, right? Pretty sure I've heard that before.
I believe so.
How you doing?
Well, I've been better. There's concerning news. I don't know how much you've heard here in Lothering.
Yeah, there's a few concerning things happening, that's for sure. I mean, we hear bits and pieces. I think there's a lot of people that are like gossiping and stuff, but like all the soldiers went south and went to this big conflict, and there's talk of monsters, dark spawn.
How well do I know Eddard in the sense that if I was to confirm or give him the how?
He has always, despite his very laid back attitude, and at times it feels like he's logically challenged. He's actually pretty good. He is a level head. He is often very calm in most situations, and just has an instinct for helping others and like a desire to be helpful.
Mhm.
And he picks up on a lot more than people give him credit for him, which is why
Okay.
you found him to be a very useful contact to have here in Lothering.
Rhiannon steps closer. She puts a hand on each of his forearms.
Yeah.
It's serious, Eddard. The monsters, the Darkspawn. Everyone in Lothering, they're going to have to leave, and I don't mean in a week. Even tomorrow could be too late.
Oh. Whoa. Okay. Where have you come from?
Well, I've journeyed down from Denerim.
Uh-huh.
I've met Chastened just outside Lothering. I've spoken to others on the road.
Some of them came into town. There's been a few came in. There was this one guy who was like standing outside the chantry and like, oh, the end of times are here, and he was like just shouting and screaming and like making people really upset. I don't know if you've ever like seen like those doom caller people. It was giving that, you know. And so he was there. He got run off by these people. Really interesting people that came through town, by the way. And then there was another group that were just outside the field. Me and Phelan were like, I mean, I'm not saying we were eavesdropping, but we were definitely listening in, and they were kind of freaking out. And the guy who works in the farm next door to us was like complaining at them and accused them that they were just going to come and try and like steal the resources that we had here. They were trying to defend themselves. Thankfully, nothing came of it, and they ended up leaving and traveling north. But yeah, they sounded pretty stressed out, and there's been, I mean, each day it feels like there's new refugees coming from the south, so it does seem like something pretty serious is happening.
Uh-huh. Listen, I've sent ravens to my village. I must have sent like 6. I've not had any reply, and that doesn't happen, Eddard. It's serious. This isn't just...
Yeah. Well, I don't know that it's serious, but like all of the soldiers from all of Ferelden are in there, and Grey Wardens, so you know, I guess I've been hopeful that they actually succeed at what they were going out to do, and that they would keep places like this safe. Do you not think so? And you, in your travels, some of the people who have passed by came from far enough south that they were likely in or around Ostagar. You may have even, not necessarily that they were passing you, because not terribly many of them were using official roads, but they were perhaps soldiers. Little drips and drabs of people. Which suggests to you the fight may have been done. And if we haven't heard the good news yet, it likely was not good news.
Yeah. I think it's over, Eddard. I've seen soldiers returning, and I know my people. There are a good number of tribes there, and if they have been decimated in the way that I've heard, then it's over.
Oh. That's not good. And you see, much like what Phelan saw, that look of a difficult emotion on his face. This is not a person who has really had to embrace negative feelings before, has always found something positive in a situation, even things that are, you know, arguably terrible things. He's always been of the, you know, it's something to learn from. or it kind of proves to yourself that you have the strength to overcome things. Like, he always would find something positive in a situation, and that often is a good energy to bring, and he's a positive light in many people's lives. But this, you can see that there is no positive spin he is able to find on this, and he's struggling to comprehend that.
Aranan places a hand on his cheek and tries to sort of like direct him to look into her eyes. You don't have to lose hope. You do need to leave. I came here hoping for maybe a bed and some supplies, but you need to get your things together. Go find Phelan. Get Phelan to get their stuff together. I need to get into town and let people know.
Okay.
It'll be fine, as long as you prepare yourself and get out tonight.
Where do we go?
We'll work that out. Get your stuff together
Okay.
and wait here for us.
I need to go and get Enid.
Yes.
I started
yes, you do.
making her this. You know what?
No, tell me. It's important.
Started making her I think it'll be a necklace.
Sure,
I
like
want
it.
to give her a bit of jewelry, and given Phelan's advice about not wearing shiny things when there's magpies nesting, I thought making it out of wood, painting it would be a nice touch.
Focus on that. You can do it on the road.
Yep. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, yep. I'm gonna help people prepare for leaving. I can do
Perfect.
that.
That's
I can do that.
exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
I will do that. All right. Thank you for letting me know.
Yes. I love being the bringer of great tidings. So I'm gonna hurry to the rest. Get yourself ready. We'll come back and we'll work this out.
Okay.
And I think she turns and walks calmly but swiftly, and then the expression on her face just drops and she starts shaking. Her hands are sort of like she pulls them in front of her so that he can't see,
Mm-hmm.
but she's starting to like slowly fall apart.
Mm-hmm. Where are you heading first?
I would go to the pub because I think at this time that's where Beverly and Kenar would be, but I'm not sure if, like, given the mood of the town, I think that's where I'd go first just in case.
Mm-hmm. As established in many a movie franchise, and also just those of us who live in the UK know, the pub is the best place to go when there is a crisis. You're going to find a lot of people there. Exactly. Shaun of the Dead is the rules. The Winchester. So you are able to head over. You can see that it is busy. It's much busier than the last time you were here. There were less people fleeing from the south the last time you were here. It's been a little while. So there are numerous people that you don't recognize that are not from Lothering. There are a couple tents near to where we are here in the center of town. And you can hear a kind of thrum, and now that there's torchlights being lit, as the dark of the evening starts to take hold, you can see the little camp that's just off towards the southern end of this village, because it is small enough that you can see pretty much everything from the center. This is a small place. And you can hear that bustle, but it's the kind of bustle where it's not happy, jovial, sing-song, having meals, having a drink, a bit of banter. It is busy, and there's a lot of talk that feels a little more serious. So you're already starting to get a tone for what the village is currently experiencing. And as you open up the door and head inside, it has that humidity that only an incredibly busy tavern can really have. The air is thick, and there are numerous people, a few faces that you recognize. Both the people of Lothering who are more welcoming to you in your presence, but also the people who are usually wary, even if they're open-minded with like other outsiders in terms of, you know, regular Ferelden people, chastened carry with them a particular reputation of being aggressive towards Fereldans. So you're used to having the occasional people who will give you a bit of an eye, a little suspicious about what your intentions may be. But the usual hard eyes from those people are not carrying with them the usual thing that you might receive. There is enough worry in everyone that is here that whatever feelings they may have towards the chastened is far from their mind right now. And you do indeed see over towards the back, thankfully having gotten the regular table, because despite how busy this place is, and the actual head count in here is double what it normally is, and with people who don't know that there are regular tables and chairs for people, they were politely reminded as it was getting to evening time that that table needs to be cleared away because it's reserved, which is the space where Bev and Kenna are often found. Bev and Kenna, are you both there right now? Now that it is nighttime, it is pulling in for like when people tend to take their evening meals. I'm assuming you were there.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So you can
Bev's
see
probably
them. the
loudest person in this tavern.
That's how I know where the tape. Yeah.
Yeah. You just listen for the tone of voice. You're like, there they are. So you're able to approach Iranin, and the two of you who are having your drink. There's a lot of people. It's a busy place. I don't know about you, but I get overstimulated in busy places. So while you may not be paying attention to everybody who is coming in here, there is Iranin is quite a striking figure visually compared to a lot of the other people who are around here. So the three of you are able to clock one another. Who do you think would notice her first and announce the arrival to the other? Would you say?
I think Kana would notice. I think Bev might be a little distracted, being boisterous.
She's
and just...
absolutely trying to find someone to have like drinking contest with her and is a little upset that everyone's kind of bummed out.
Perfect.
I keep telling you I'll join, but we do need a third. Iranin!
Iranin?
Hey!
Oh, perfect. We've got a third. Let's go.
Yes. Come on, just having a bev with Bev.
Rana is the queen of masking. Big beaming smile. She sort of like comes over, and with Rana, she's one of those people that will greet each of you and give you like that personal time sort of thing. So, but manage to do it in a way that's sort of like it doesn't take forever. But she'll sort of like bring you into a hug, and kiss both cheeks, probably cover you in her perfume. You're looking gorgeous, and that forge is not doing your hair any good, though. I've got a good oil for that. How's your daughter?
I'm gonna need it for sure. It's good to see you. Oh, Rainy's not here. She's gonna be so sad to hear you were here and she missed you. Oh,
she's not here. She's where is she? Oh, with her
she's
father.
She's up with the dick up in Kirkwall.
Okay. Well, that might actually be a good thing for once. And
Yeah?
then turns to Beverly, knows that Beverly isn't quite such a hugger, so she takes her hands and Beverly,
Hi, darling.
I'm good. How have you been? Whiskey,
business as
not
usual. No, whiskey down.
Yeah, whiskey is like under a table. It's not your table; it's someone else's table, and people who are doing
bonks his head
they've
off.
very cleverly sat under the table with people who are not from Lothering, so they don't know him, and they're like, "Oh, look, they're cuties," and they're like feeding him things, and yeah, he's being very cute for them. Still has the hat on.
He won't let me take that hat off. Some of the kids from the camp they made it for him, and ever since he has been so full of himself. So if you don't tell him he's a pretty boy, he will have a fit.
It's a fetching hat, and it suits him.
He
You can
looks
keep it
so
on.
handsome.
Is he going to come and
Almost
say
on
hello?
cue, we'll look over at you and then both, and then come over and sit at your feet. Gives Kana a look of acknowledgement at the comment, and then goes over and sits right at Iranan's feet and does the big butt wiggle, which means that the whole body is wiggling, which means the hat is now wiggling.
I'm scritching the head while talking to Beverly. I like the idea that Whiskey's probably like sticking his nose up my skirt every now and then, and I'm just like pushing the skirt down
He has
and
no
talking to you
boundaries.
without paying any
No.
attention. You know?
Dogs do not know that. Yeah.
You're looking well, both of you.
Yeah, business as usual as much as possible with everybody, you know, just kind of coming up the road.
I've just spoken to Eddard, and it feels to me that the true seriousness of what's going on has not really reached Lothering yet.
Oh.
What do you mean?
I think. And she'll make a gesture for us to like sit down, and hasn't even asked for a drink to join you, so you know something's wrong. I think the king's men may have seen defeat.
What? I mean, they had like the Grey Wardens with them. Aren't they supposed to be like legendary heroes or whatever?
I don't know for certain, Beverly, but I've had no word back from my family. I've spoken to Chasen on the road. The tribes have been decimated. They're fighting Darkspawn now. I've seen blooded, wounded soldiers coming back in dribs and drabs up the paths. I think it's time to leave Lothering. You need to come north with me.
You don't think it's a full-blown blight, do you?
I would say at that, Oriana, you have many skills, and I think your senses are very keen. And perhaps being somewhat near to this table, it's not necessarily that you were eavesdropping on their conversation in particular, but there are certain words being mentioned that key into the things that you have observed. It is up to you if and when you want to clock in and join the conversation, but you are now aware of what is being said.
Okay.
Carry on.
I think it might be.
I mean, a couple of Darkspawn doesn't mean a blight.
It's not
a couple of Darkspawn wouldn't take care of the whole army.
What she said, Bev.
There hasn't been a blight for like hundreds of years. What?
Isn't that
Why
the
now?
point?
Yes, it's reckoning day. God, I can't sit here.
Listen. At least we just air to safety. Your daughter's not here, so heading away from Lothering is not as difficult as it would be if we were trying to bring her on the road. Beverly, you've got a business you can return to, even if we got it wrong.
I don't think you have it wrong.
When Aranan turns to the voice.
Yeah, like I think she even kind of like on accident kind of like pops up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you have it wrong. I think you smell it before you see her.
Oh, yeah, Oriana, sweetheart, you've got to let me do your laundry or something, please. This is.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
She is covered in mud.
I like it.
She
Anyway,
likes it, Bev.
Aranan's giving Oriana a bit of an impressed kind of look, which for reasons we don't know yet, but
Aranan, I know this is weird for me. I'm sure you can, back me up. The rabbits were coming to me today. Like they were running away from something else.
yeah, they don't do that.
No.
As much as magpies chase shiny things, rabbits do not run at you.
No, and I didn't even see any birds. I didn't even hear them. And the plants, the wildlife, it's warped. Some of the ground is black. It's really weird.
I do
don't
a
think
kind
you're
of
wrong.
like, that look at Kanara and Bev, like not a C,
Mhm.
but like
Yeah. It's at this moment conversation can continue, but Phelan, you have now arrived with Eddard, who will kind of head in and then be like, "Hey, Aran's here. You should speak. You'd like her. She knows a lot of things about animals, the way that you know a lot of things about animals. So I feel like you guys would definitely get along. I need to go and speak to Enid.
Did Eddard mention anything about what?
Was probably like, hey, so the thing we were talking about earlier about the stuff, the soldiers, and the having to defend ourselves. I feel like we might need to adopt that skill set pretty quickly, Phelan. I think we're gonna have to leave soon. Remember, keeping yourself safe and running away. It's a solid life decision, and will ruffle your hair. I do need to go and speak to Enid, but find us a seat. I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like if he had mentioned that like a little earlier, he definitely would have grabbed like his staff. Which right now all you see is kind of like just something wrapped in cloth on his back. And as soon as Eder leaves, it's like I came to this party with my friend and my friend has left me and I don't know what I'm doing.
Because you're right in the middle, brought you in. He doesn't think anything of it because, neurotypical. And is like, hey, I'll be back in a minute. You just you find us some seats, it'll be fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. And turns around and you are now literally standing in the middle with like lots of hustle and bustle around you, lots of noise. It is very it's like sensory overload in here. That's where really and the conversation is happening. But a couple of you, those of you who do know Phelan, will see that he arrived with Eddard.
It's just looking around.
I think at this point, like, Bev is like leaning in and finally starting to take this conversation seriously. Just, if this is a blight, sorry, my phone was ringing. If this really is a blight, then shouldn't we be telling people? Like, we need to leave, right? A place that actually has some kind of defenses.
I think we should. I needed to let you know first and make sure that you understood how serious it was. But yes, but without causing a panic. And just bear with me. And I turn to Phelan. There's a poor lost lamb, and I kind of like I'll come.
So a couple of things are going to happen. Both at your word, because we don't want to cause panic. And you turn around and you look, and you'll like clock eyes with Phelan need to go and help the little lost lamb. And as you do that, and it is with the locked eyes, that a few of you are going to start to hear the village bell going at the chantry. It does not normally go at this time of night. Sometimes it will go when it is time for service. But it can double up as a warning system to the village. You can also hear screams.
That's the chantry bell.
I think. Sorry, Phelan locked eyes with Aranon and was about to take a step forward and then did a quick 180 at the sound. And you just see him bolt out the door.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was running out the door as well. Pushing through people.
The very first thing I do when I hear the bell is look at Oriana. Because I think we know what's coming.
It's coming. It's been growing every day. I didn't think it'd be this fast though.
You can hear more screams. It's coming from the side.
No point sitting around then. Come on, Whiskey, let's go.
We gotta go. I'll be back. I'll be back. I'm gonna go to my sad little tent. Grab my meager provisions.
So as people head to grab things, there's no plan you can put in place. This is not necessarily something that people can have planned for. Everyone is just acting completely of instinct. Some people you can hear screams and fleeing, particularly from the south. You as you head out of the tavern and spill out, a few people are coming out. Other people are inside, not quite registering what is going on, particularly when they're quite heavy in their cups. You can see people from the refugee camp starting to run. You can also hear this horrid guttural sounds from the south as well, particularly one that comes from something that seems quite large, judging by the lung capacity of it. I'm going to go around each of you to see where you were going and what you were getting. We're going to go back into the order that we did our intros. Kana, where are you going?
I mean, at first she was just heading outside to get a scope the situation, and
Yeah.
as soon as she realized what was going on, she's just running. She's fortunately was mostly packed, but has a couple things she was gonna leave till the morning, and is just gonna go home, throw straight in the cart, and then see from there.
Yeah. You're starting to load things up. You have the thankful situation where, as you say, a lot of things were already packed, so you're able to get them into the cart, grab a few things. What
There's two
are you
major
gonna...
things
Yes.
that haven't been packed that she's gonna grab.
Yeah.
One of them is her portable anvil. She has two anvils. One is built into the forge itself, so that it's just way better for bigger works. But she has a portable one. She uses for repairs or on the go things, and she was saving that for the morning. But she's gonna lug that into the cart.
Yep.
Probably not pack it too carefully. And then she has sort of hidden away, tucked away in an alcove near one of the doorways, out of sight. Doesn't look like much, but is a wrapped up bastard sword that was a gift from the ex, and she wasn't planning on bringing it, but has thought twice of that and is throwing it into the back of the cart just in case.
Yeah. So you get these things packed up, you get things ready to go, you get your mule rigged up to this cart. As you turn around, you hear from where the forge is, it's not right in the heart of the city, it is slightly further down the main road, and you can hear sounds that are people losing their lives. We don't need to go into the details, but it is an unmistakable sound, and again, that guttural sound, there's a smell coming with it. It's like there's rot on the air, even though nothing has been dead that long, but this smell is like nothing you have ever encountered in your life before. As you take it into your lungs, you just know that it is wrong. And you are ready to flee. Phelan, where do you go?
I think there's a moment where he's kind of frozen at the site. It's unfortunately not dissimilar to things that he has witnessed in the past. But the smell that comes with it being so close, being able to see and hear the sounds of death. I think part of him looks back towards the tavern, trying to see if Eddard is leaving as well.
Perception check for me. If you have a focus that you feel applies to this, you may use it.
You may use it. I do not, but so it'll be straight up
Perception.
6. But I did get one stun.
You sure did. And see if you passed that one step might have been useful.
Yep.
You cannot see him. There is an outpouring of people from the tavern. There is a lot of bodies running and screaming, and you're fairly short in stature, which makes this harder. Picking him out is difficult right now. You're not sure where he is, and you feel like if you take the time to try to find him,
a hero would go back and look for people. Phelan is not a hero. He is just a man. Yet. And the words that Eddard spoken, like, running and hiding is just as good as much as a strategy.
Yeah.
And that twists to, he can hear his mother's voice saying run and hide. And so he takes the staff from his back and is holding it, but it is the farm north?
Yes.
Or okay, he is running straight north.
Sure. When you're heading that way, you are going to see loading up a cart and now heading off with a mule. You can see Kana.
Okay. Okay.
You can see Phelan. I imagine there's a moment where eyes lock. You
Yeah.
see people that you are emotionally invested in, and that is when our scene will shift. Beverly, where do you go?
I think before Beverly leaves the area that the pub is, she's gonna turn to Whiskey and say, "Whiskey, do what you did this morning, boy. Wake those people up. Meet me back at the house."
Yeah, there is a sound that comes from him, and although he was not trained to be a war dog, it is something that the Mabari have ingrained in them, is what they were bred for originally. There's an instinct that takes over this dog, where he just looks at you, acknowledges everything that you've said, and you know you can trust this dog. And he will run off to go and start waking people.
Then Bev's gonna turn to her mule and cart and start it on the path back home, which obviously knows the path back home, but she's gonna run ahead.
Yeah.
And try and get there first.
Jessica's gonna do what she knows what to do.
Jessica's gonna know what she knows what to do.
Yeah.
She knows where to go.
Yeah.
So Bev runs ahead and goes to her home and starts grabbing things. She specifically will grab, like, she doesn't know what she needs. She's never like left Lothering before. It's like, she's like, okay, I think I could use this for traveling. Grabs like a water skin, like an extra pair of clothes, a backpack, and then she turns to this like old stand that has heavy leather armor on it that her brother used to use when he was still in town, and will think for a second before grabbing it and bringing it with her. It seems frivolous to others, but this is her livelihood, so she's gonna grab her old like tin wash tub, her laundry paddle, and bring that with her as well, along with some soap. Just trying to bring stuff with her. I think she goes outside to where her clotheslines are and starts taking off pieces of clothing and shoves it into a bag and throws it into the cart once it gets here.
By this point, Jessica's with you. Yeah, you're able to load up. Okay. All right. As you grab your things, there's mainly only one way out, particularly with the sounds coming from the southern road. You can see now fleeing refugees from the camp that is to the south of this, and you can also see people who tried to leave. You are also the first person to lock eyes with some of these creatures moving in a street below you. You're the first person to clock eyes with a darkspawn. And perhaps in that moment, realizing just how desperate this is, you have to leave. You will be coming up the back, and you can see the other cart and mule. It seems like the Jessicas are at least aware enough of each other that yours starts to pull a little harder on this cart to head north. These sounds, animals just have an instinct, they just know. And she knows she needs to get out of here. Eventually, you will see Whiskey coming up to join you, up alongside, ears pointed up very much, stunning to attention.
Yeah, I'll call out to Kana and Phelan, I assume, also in the same area. Hey, wait up! Or don't wait up, I'll catch up to you.
Excellent. As you start to catch up, Oriana, where do you go? I know you said you went to your tent.
Yes, towards like the east part of the town on the outskirts, near the woods. And she's trying to go as quickly but as quietly as she can.
Yeah. There's a few times where
shadows.
Can you roll me a dexterity roll to avoid the people? People are rushing. It's essentially a horde of people fleeing, and this makes it difficult to go against the grain.
Potentially use acrobatics to do that?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. So just click on the word acrobatics and it will roll with it.
Oh,
17 with a 2 stunt. Yeah, you are very very nimble in this moment. It's almost like you're able to anticipate the way that people are going, choosing the right moment to stop and let people pass so that you're not getting in their way, you're not going to trip anyone, because you know that tripping and hesitating might be the last mistake that this person makes.
I want to be as quiet as I possibly can, so don't draw attention.
Yeah, you're able to make it to your stuff.
And I just get to my tent, and I know this feeling. I don't have much. That's why I always want to make sure I can go as quickly as possible. So I just load everything. I've got 2 knives,
knives.
Yeah.
2 knives that I'm putting on my person. Some leather armor that doesn't really quite fit, but it does the job.
Mhm.
And then bedroll, and then just whatever dried rations I was able to gather to trade here. And then I am leaving my shitty bow and arrow that it should not have been used anyway.
Mhm.
Just doing the same thing, going back into town as quietly and as quickly as I possibly can.
As you head back into town, you are aware that your movements have to be quick now. You can hear some of them behind you now, keeping pace. They're fast. You're going to have to pick up your pace. And you hear something loose from over your head. It is arrows, and they are on fire, and they land on the roof of the tavern. It is going to start to go up in flames.
Okay. Oh God, I want to Maker. I want to tell them, and just keep going. Just keep
Yeah,
going.
you keep running. Eventually, you're going to run into the back of people that, because of the nature of the mules, are going a little slower than the people who are trying to run around them. You're at the back end of the people that you were just speaking to. As you are about to make up to them, perhaps just about to alert them to your presence. Iranan, where did you go?
Aranan may have been the quickest of everyone. She's been on the road. She has like an embroidered bag slung over one shoulder with soaps, perfumes, makeup, and things that are very, very impractical for what is about to happen. But she hasn't been able to restock, and Aranan is used to being able to get by. She lives her life just, going from place to place and just being assured of herself. And she's very much being that right now. So she does have a knife with her that she has been wearing on her side. She doesn't usually, but for the last couple of days she has been. She has a drum, like a boran kind of thing, on her back. It's the only sort of sizable item. But I think what she would have done was run straight out after Phelan and Eddard, knowing that they looked a bit panicked and not wanting to get lost in the crowd, and maybe trying to see if she can spot Eddard and Enid, but heading straight to the others. Yep.
Roll me a perception check, please. A focus if you feel that you've got one that applies.
That's an 11.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah.
It's not as good as my last perception.
No. There's just so many people, and they're so desperate, and it is hard to keep track. It is dark as well, which is not helping matters. You maybe go just to keep an eye on the people exiting the tavern. You can't see Eddard and Enid in that, which may imply that they have already left the building. There is a point at which there's nobody left in there, which is merciful, because you can hear the roof now starting to catch alight. There are other buildings around the side that are also starting to fall, be it because of assault on the building itself or just the sheer force of the horde that are encroaching. You're not going to be able to linger here any longer. If you stay and you look, they're going to get you. You have to run.
I think if I can, Emma, just... Aranan probably does pause like that little bit too long as the group are sort of like getting... She turns, looks in the direction of home, and is almost sort of transfixed. She's thinking of her father and her sister and her brother, and she knows where these have come from. And almost like one of her companions might even have to like grab her arm and just sort of pull her back.
I was gonna say, if you linger, Oriana's gonna be like, we have to go. Let's go.
You imagine the scene. You imagine what it must have been like in the stilted huts of your home with this horde coming through. It is that lingering moment where you can hear another bellow from something with a lung capacity so much larger than a person. And you also can see not just Darkspawn, but you can see one that is so large. It is double the height of a person. It has huge, imposing horns on its head and a grotesque face as it bellows and picks someone up to devour them. You are pulled by Oriana.
Yeah, I resist Oriana for a second, and then when that thing comes in, I just let her pull me. I sort of spin around and we just start fleeing.
People are fleeing. Many are making their way onto the roads as best they can. Some people are fleeing straight into the woods, up over the hill, into the water even. They are just trying to escape. They are just trying to survive. There's no logic to what they're doing. They are fleeing for their lives, as you are, as you all head off into the night, hoping that your legs will carry you for as long as you need to outrun the horde of Darkspawn. And that is where we're going to end our first session, everybody. As we flee off into the night, thank you so much for joining us, everyone, for our premiere of Blood and Lyrium, our Dragon Age story. For those of you who have been with us this evening, thank you for sticking with us. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope that you will enjoy the excellent story with these wonderful characters as we progress. What we are going to do is we are going to go around the table, tell you who we are, who we have been playing, and where you can find us in the future. I will start. I am Emma, or Hamalu on the internet. I have been your storyteller tonight. In terms of where you can find me, on Sunday, you will see me over in Girls from These Worlds, also running a Dragon Age game with a very different tone, where we are mostly mages with one rogue trying to stick it to the Templars in All Templars Are Bastards. You can also find me on Mondays, also on Girls from These Worlds, for Ariga Stars, where a couple people here are fabulous cast members, which is very much also being gay, but in a very anime magic girl kind of way.
Be gay, stop crying.
Be gay, stop crying, exactly. And then back here again on Tuesdays for this wonderful Dragon Age game. Thank you so much. We will go in the same order that we did our intro, so we will be starting with Emily.
That's me. I'm Emily. You can still find me at EmilyBard20 on the interwebs. I've been Kana, the lovely worried mother who definitely has no fighting capabilities whatsoever. And yeah, other than this, also on Tuesdays, I'm in another Transmissions project where I play a different hairy woman, a wolf of the were variety, with a different accent. It's not that bad, but yeah, come check that out. Episode 3 just dropped today. Is really, really good, particularly good episode. But start from the beginning, and yeah. I've got some other projects, secret projects in the works that they're not ready to announce yet, but they're very fun.
Wonderful.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
Hi, it's me. Next, I'm singing Alyssa Vamp on the internet, and gosh darn, what a episode, right? If you don't see me here being Phelan, my no risk, just autism and brown eyes character, you can also find me over at Valerian's channel playing another elf, another Dragon Age character this summer that also Emma runs. There, my elf is a city elf. She's a little bit more used to social encounters, so she's quite the opposite of Phelan. Other than that, you'll see me pop up in a lot of different games that are on live. They happen sometimes, they don't happen, but mostly you can see me here. And other Dragon Age games, apparently. Damn. What an episode. I mean that in the best way possible. That's me, guys. That's all, folks.
Emotional damage. Jill.
Hello, I am Jill. I have been playing Beverly. And you can find me also in Eureka Stars on Mondays with Girls Run These Worlds, here, obviously, on Tuesdays with Blood and Lyrium. And also you can hear me on the podcast that's released on Tuesdays, also from the Transmissions, Black Teeth. Highly recommend. It's super fun. I play a way more serious character. But it's great. It's fantastic. Sakaya is a wonderful GM. Wow.
All right.
Hello, My name is Torin. You can find me as Torin Talks or Torin Talks Creativity. To be honest, I'm in so many things. I barely play myself anymore at this point, but that's okay. I just take it as a very heartwarming thing that people want me to be in their games. So as far as the rest this week, Friday I'm in Erevan on Girls Run These Worlds, and then Tal Templars of Bastards, and then back on Fate. Otherwise, I have my own Torn Talks Creativity channel where I do a series called Elder Millennial Plays New Game, and it's where people give me games because they're lovely, and then I absolutely mess it up the entire time, and it's really awkward. It's great. Lots of screaming. Other than that, I am a voice actor, so there's a lot of different projects I am on that you can catch via there. So thank you. It's been very fun, and I have been Oriana, I guess nervous might be the best thing to say about her. She's very stinky.
And
too,
stinky,
so
yeah.
she's very stinky. And she likes it. I like it.
I
she'll
like
figure
being
it out.
covered in mud.
But yeah, it's been great.
Very good. And Sakayam.
If you'll indulge me just for a minute before
Yeah.
I tell you about what I'm doing and where you can find me, I would just like to say I run an actual play podcast from 2016 to 2022, and then stuff happened in my life that I thought I would never be in a streaming or podcast community again. I thought that was all finished and over, and I'm just so pleased to be working with such talented people on this. And the transmissions is something that Emma and I have been working on for a little while, but every member of this team has put in so much, from art to voiceovers to animated intros, and you're all just incredible. And I'd like to say a big special thanks to Ben, who's hiding behind the scenes,
Yes.
producing this for us.
Producer Ben.
Yeah, thank you everyone, because you're incredible, and what a great opening episode. I am Sakaya. I go by she, her pronouns. Today I have been playing the not quite so bubbly Aranon. Hopefully we'll see that. We've mentioned Black Teeth, and we've mentioned other things that we're doing. I am playing an ace pilot in a one-shot on UK Actual Play. That'll be on Friday, and then on Girls Run These Worlds I will be doing a Salvage Union from about the 20th of April, I think, run by the wonderful Miss Helicopter. So yeah.
Love it. Well done. Well done, everyone. Give a round of applause for all of you guys. Good job. And thank you again, chat. This has been a wonderful start to our journey, and it is indeed just the beginning. I am so excited for where this project takes us, and I'm very proud of not just the stuff that Sky and I have been able to put together with the transmissions, but also this absolutely incredible cast. I love you all so much. We're not going to raid today, just because premiere, and it's the way that we've set things up, but I want you guys just to take care of yourselves, and we will see you next week, everybody. Goodbye.